Good evening, and welcome to the April 27th, 2023 meeting of the Longview City Council. Tonight, our prayer and pledge will be led by the members of the Longview Community Ministry staff. Britt Norvell, Volunteering Community Outreach Manager, will lead the prayer, and Executive Director Christy Buckrill will lead the pledge. Please stand.
Let's pray. Gracious God, we commend the city of Longview, Texas, to your good and merciful care, that we may be guided always by your providence and dwell secure in your peace. We especially ask that you would grant to Mayor Mack, to our council members, and to all who serve the people of this city, the spirit of wisdom, charity, courage, and justice, that they may know and do what is good and right. May they faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of this city, our region, and every member of our community. All this we ask by your unending grace and in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both for being here, and thank you for what you do for our community. We really appreciate Longview Community Ministries. We are to citizen comment. I have a couple speaker cards. We'll start with Mr. Alexander Mitchell.
Mayor Mack, council members, city manager, thank you for having me up here tonight. Rather than reading off this little note that I have, I'll tell you exactly what happened to me on the dangerous streets of Longview. And the reason I say it's dangerous because of a hazard that happened as I was driving south on 4th Street, where it turns into one lane before 6th Street. And as soon as you turn into one lane, on the right side is Greenwood. As I was driving by that 1017 Greenwood, there was a riding lawnmower, stand behind lawnmower, with an individual with a backpack with a gale force wind blower, shot all the debris out into the street. And I had to drive through it without stopping because I had all the cars behind me. We were all down to one lane. Luckily, there was nobody in front of me, or I'd have probably hit somebody, I don't know. So I went down to Short Street, turned around, came back, turned left on Greenwood, stopped in front of his pickup truck and trailer, and proceeded to take a picture, and he came flying out on that mower right out into the middle of the street on Greenwood, put that blower close to my window as a threat, and said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "No, nothing for me. You'll just explain to the police why you're doing what you're doing when they come around." Go right ahead. I have nothing to worry about. And with that, he got back on his riding lawnmower, went back to his mowing. After I took the pictures, I left and came to City Hall and was lucky to meet Miss Margot, who steered me in the right direction to go to the police department and then get an incident number and then come to this meeting tonight. And I'm happy to be here and tell you that this should stop. We shouldn't have these type of hazards to me in a car or to anybody on a bicycle, walking, whatever. Shouldn't have this happening. And when I mow my grass, I have the bag catcher on the back of mine and I empty it in the trash. I don't let it go blowing everywhere, and I don't threaten anybody that comes around it. What are you doing? What do you want? So with that, I'm going to say thank you for letting me have your time. Good evening.
Thank you, sir. And as Chief Boone has spoken to you, he'll make sure things are taken care of. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you very much. Dominique Harnage.
Hello, council members. My name is Dominique Harnage. I'm a hospitalist nurse practitioner who works here locally in Longview. I'm here to seek clarification.
I'm sorry, Ms. Dominique, and I forgot to get the other gentleman to do it. Would you please state your name and address, please?
Dominique Harnage, 107 Collins Avenue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here to seek clarification and recommendations from the city council members and the Planning and Zoning Committee. I recently reached out to the Planning and Zoning Committee in regards to a clinic that I am anticipating opening here locally. It's a mobile quick visit clinic that provides access to care to those in rural areas and cash-based customers who do not have access to insurance. My response is that the response from the Planning and Zoning Committee is that I am unable to operate within the city limits, and they sent me information in regards to the temporary outdoor vending application, which I don't feel is applicable to my situation because it's primarily related to outdoor selling of Christmas trees and merchandise. My situation is a little bit, it's not typical. However, I do see many mobile medical units out in the community as far as like the imaging centers, the blood donation centers, even Shred has a mobile medical unit. So I'm trying to verify or I guess seek guidance on what I can do in regards to maybe filing a petition in order to verify if I'm able to legally operate this business before I get started. I even had one of the ladies from the Planning and Zoning Committee basically say that she feels that I should operate in a brick and mortar to be considered a true medical practice, which I feel like her opinion was kind of irrelevant, and it should be based off rules and regulations and not off personal opinions. So I'm just here today to figure out what can I do to get my business off the ground.
Ms. Harnage, you live on Collin Avenue?
Collins, yes, sir.
What district is that in?
I think District 5.
District 5. Okay. We'll have our district representative contact you, and we'll get with planning and zoning as well, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have no more speaker cards, so we will now move on to public safety update. Chief Boone.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. McPhee. First, I want to cover our numbers from last month for our customer surveys. You can see there on our officer response, it was a 4.75 out of 5, and on our dispatch response, it was a 4.66 out of 5. So again, staying in the mid-90s there on that ratio, so very proud of that. They've also added a new feature, and it shows our numbers beyond just a month. So on how do you rate the officer you interacted with, you can see that over the last year, we've maintained a 4.71, and then with our dispatch services, we've maintained a 4.66. And a new feature they've added is how satisfied are you with your police department, which is, again, a very important question for us to know. And it's a 4.54, and we've just had that's been going for about a month now. So very pleased with all those numbers. And it pulls some of the comments as well. And you can see some of those where it talks about extremely professional, nice. This was by phone. Officer referring to the female officer, she was very professional and asked appropriate questions to ensure she understood the circumstances. Somebody actually reached out and spoke to about Officer Duffy by name. Officer Duffy was very helpful. Officer Duffy, of course, he's one of our senior officers that's been with us for almost 30 years, and definitely lean on him to show the younger guys how to do it. So very proud of these numbers and very proud of these comments as well. Also, we hated to lose another veteran officer, but after 28 years of service, Detective Kirby DeLoach, he has retired and moved to Alabama to join the rest of his family. And he is still going to stay on in a reserve status for us, though, and help us. He worked in the lab at the PD, and he's going to help us move the lab over to the new building. So we're still glad to have him in that auxiliary capacity, but hated to see him retire on us. And we had our women's safety course last week, and it was very successful. So they spend the first few evenings in the classroom, and then on Saturday morning they actually go out to the range, and we have a handful of weapons that we allow them to shoot, and they're also welcome to bring their own as well. So we had a great time with that, and special thanks to Detective Stiles and Officer Del Conte for hosting that during the week, and then Lieutenant Rocket pulled some of the guys together to actually help out with the range time afterwards. But very, very good course. And then we also had Career Day at Hallsville West Elementary, and we had some SWAT guys and our canine out there, and that was on April 18th, and obviously the kids always enjoy getting to see the dogs and get to check out some of our equipment. We're actually great to be invited and help out with that. And again, you got to start recruiting these people young so we can have some officers to replace us older guys as it goes. And then we had some promotions this week. We had Dustin Ashworth promote to sergeant, and we had Aaron Clinton promote to lieutenant, and they will both be assigned to our first watch. That's our midnight patrol. And again, just want to mention our youth event is coming up May 6th, and that's sponsored by our PAR officers. And they're going to let everyone that comes out from 9 a.m. to noon know about all the activities that are available in our community during the summer months. So if you have a child that will be at the house and don't know exactly what they'll do just yet, come by and let us help you point in some direction and make sure that they can do something that'll be fun for them and learn in the process. And with a new building coming very soon, we'll take some new officers to go with that building. And so we definitely have some openings, and please get online, apply, and we'll see how quickly we can get you to be part of our program and part of that new building. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Moon? Thank you, sir. Chief Stillman.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Mr. McPhee. Thanks for an opportunity to have a few minutes to update you on some activities in the fire department since we last met. A lot of my presentation tonight is going to be about training. You know, we have an extremely, just a very busy call volume here at the fire department and running fire and EMS service here in the city. Every once in a while when we can, we try to squeeze in some training to make sure that our professionals in the fire department are staying sharp with their skills and honed in and ready to respond. And this month, we spent a lot of time on the things that rarely happen. We hope they never happen, but we want to have prepared people when they do. So swiftwater training. You know, here in Longview, we're subject to get a little flash flooding every once in a while, especially along areas of Grace Creek, the Sabine River. And so it's important that we have professionals that are trained to go out and know how to work in those environments and respond to rescue people that are caught up in those situations. So we had the opportunity to train several new members of our department, or not new members of our department, new people in our department to become swiftwater rescue technicians. And so this will provide them those training and skills that they need. If they happen to be the guy on duty at the day, you're going to get the right guy, the right equipment, going to the right place to take care of the problem. So I commend these guys for kind of stepping outside the normal firefighter paramedic role and taking on a new responsibility that makes our department stronger in the end. You can see them out at Perky Power Plant. They actually go up into Oklahoma where they can find some more fast-moving, rapid water to really challenge them, more so than what you'll find out at the Sabine River naturally on a normal day. I had the opportunity a week or so ago to attend a mass burn incident that was sponsored by the Regional Advisory Council on Trauma, RACG, over in Tyler. This training was held at the UT Health Center. It was a collaborative effort of emergency management officials, hospital officials, and EMS agencies from around the area to it was a tabletop exercise to see what we would do in the event of having a multiple victim burn incident. So think of some type of a business with an explosion or some type, we're inundated with oil field equipment and things around here. If you have multiple people injured with burn injuries, and the one thing that we all really came to realize is that we're really lacking a lot of appropriate burn center type facilities in our immediate area. Our best action is going to be to try to get people stabilized, to get them to Dallas, to get them to Shreveport, to get them to Houston, Galveston, San Antonio, places far away from here. And that was the focal point of the meeting, is that there's a lot of work and a lot of coordination that has to happen with that stabilization, especially when you're going to be thinking about using air resources to transport these people to these way far out located facilities in a faster mode than taking them by ground. So it was a great opportunity just to brainstorm through some problems that stuff that we hope never happens, but we certainly have the potential out there on any given day to experience some type of an emergency like this. So it was a great opportunity. I really enjoyed going and networking with those other stakeholders from the area. I'm proud to say that we were able to reinitiate our annual railroad tank car safety course. And again, if you watched the national news in the last month, you've seen where this has become a little bit of a problem here in our country. Fortunately, not so much here in Longview, but we have two major rail lines that run through our city with Union Pacific and Burlington Northern Santa Fe. And so we're fortunate that they'll send people down here and shoulder up with us to provide training to responders and contractors that are going to be the ones out having to deal with those issues when they happen in anybody's jurisdiction. And you can see by the map there, the representation. We had students and instructors all the way up, from Canada to Mexico. We pretty much had the middle of the country covered, with most of the states having somebody representing them in this training. And we're proud to have brought this back after a 3-year hiatus due to COVID. We're so fortunate we have local partners like Eastman Chemical, again, our UP friends and our BNSF friends. Everybody comes together to pull this training off. And the one thing that we've been doing this for probably 25, closer to 30 years now. And the one thing about it is there's just a handful of places in the country where you can get this level of hands-on active training. Trinity Rail, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them. People that come to our training get to go out and see a tank car being built from the ground up. In a lot of places you don't have the opportunity to do that, so that if you can understand how it's put together, you therefore can understand how it might come apart on a bad day. So proud to have that going again, and we appreciate everybody that participated with that. And I'm happy to announce that the first one of our 4 public safety bond projects, we're going to actually do the grand opening on it on Monday, May the 1st from 2 to 3 at Fire Station number 5. This is located at 102 West Niblick. We don't do ribbon cuttings in the fire department. We're going to do a hose uncoupling because that's a little bit more suited for our environment. So anybody is welcome to attend. We'll have some light refreshments, give people tours of the facility. That place has turned out great. Our guys couldn't be more pleased with it. They've been living in it and using it for several months now. So we've kind of got the rough broke off of it, and it's working out very well for us. So we're super excited. Can't wait to get those other 3 projects to this point somewhere down the road. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Stillman? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
I do have one thing to say.
I'm sorry, Mr. Purtle.
Chief,
Yes.
Station 5, I grew up there, and it looks a whole lot different than it did before because I used to go up there and get in trouble in the hose tower, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd have even been pulled up and down in that old hose tower by those firemen. So it looks very nice, even though it's in Nona's area. I do appreciate what y'all have done for it because it services a lot of us right real close there.
It does. We're very fortunate. It has really expanded our capabilities in west part of Longview by upgrading that facility the way we have. Thank you.
We're down to consent agenda. Any items council not pulled off for separate discussion?
Move for approval.
Second.
So motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, items of community interest. Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to announce, and as I look through this thing, a lot of times we spend a lot of time talking about sports and things of this nature, but it seems that Pine Tree's gotten in the UIL academics game. We've got 13 students that are state bound. We finished 6th in the regionals, and we have a gentleman named Travis Johnson, who is the regional champion in literary criticism. Don't have a clue what that means, but congratulations to Travis and to all of those students who've moved on up the chain. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of got me stumped. Literary criticism. That must be on my Facebook page or something. I don't know. Ms. Notting.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to comment. I don't know if you recognize tonight, Andy, we have quite a few classmates
I
in the
see
building, so I'd like for you guys to just stand. Thank you all for being here. Guys, this is the greatest class that ever graduated Longview High School, class of 78. So thank you guys for being here. 1978.
That's right. 8 is great.
Yes.
Thanks, Nona.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wade?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I have a few things to mention. Partners in Prevention is having their next Unity and Diversity meeting this Monday, May 1st at noon at the Longview Public Library. So if you're looking to get involved in our community, Unity and Diversity meeting is a great way to do that. Second, also, Foster Middle School is hosting the Lobo Game Fest next Saturday, May 6th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. If you're a gamer or a parent of a gamer, go check this out. And last but not least, volunteers are needed to judge the high school speech and debate competition at Leterno University, May 9th through the 11th. No experience is needed to be a judge, so if you're interested, please contact Shonda Lambarazzi. It's my Italian. 214-673-1913. And good luck to those students competing in the regional title.
Good deal.
Thank you, Mayor Matt.
Mrs. Shahara.
I have one this evening. Wanted to just make special note of an event that the Animal Shelter and Longview Paws is sponsoring called the Nina Effect. Nina Allen was a very special young woman who worked for the Animal Shelter, and her life was tragically cut short at the end of last year. If you knew Nina, she was a bright light to everybody that saw her. She cared deeply about people and about animals. And if you remember the viral lamb video that the shelter had, that was Nina dancing down the hallway with her usual light. So this is an effort to honor her memory and how much she cared for animals. So please come join us on Saturday, May 6th.
Thank you, Mrs. Shahara. Here we go. Ms. Gamboa.
Good evening, everyone. We had the pleasure of participating in the intercity trip to Billings. We missed a couple of our amazing council friends, but a few of us along with city staff were there, and Tim Carpenter and Steve Pirtle tried to target us with paint. We also got to learn a lot about economic development, and we're excited to potentially share some great ideas with you in the upcoming future. And rodeo was this weekend, so thank you to the Longview Gregton Rotary Club for their efforts and putting on the rodeo, and thank you for everyone in our community for supporting it.
Mr. Purtle.
Nothing from me.
Mr. McPhee. Well, Cinco de Mayo, mark your calendar for Cinco de Mayo at the Longview Arboretum. Gates open at 5 with festivities beginning at 6 p.m. This event is a partnership with the Longview Arboretum and Downtown Live. Advance tickets are $5. Tickets at the gate are $10. Kids 12 and under are free. The Parks and Recreation Master Plan Survey will close Sunday, May the 7th. This survey is a vital tool to help us gather community input that will be included during our planning process. Visit longviewtexas.gov/Parks Master Plan to learn more and complete the survey today. And the LEEDCO office. Congratulations to Longview Economic Development Corporation for officially opening their new office headquarters this afternoon. It's a beautiful facility and will serve you and the city very, very well. Gorgeous facility. Congratulations to LEEDCO. Job well done all the way around. And my understanding is they mostly used all local vendors and whatnot for the building of that project. So they used city dollars and kept them in Longview, which is always good to hear. This is off the cuff. Don't we have Downtown Live tomorrow night? We do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Downtown Live tomorrow night. And like, because my daughter's been all over me about it all week. Something D. Low D, that's it. Low D, yeah. She said it's going to be great. So remember Downtown Live tomorrow if you have nothing else going on. Or if you have something going on, go to Downtown Live. It's an awesome thing to do. So that is it. With that, God bless you all. Until we meet again, we are adjourned.